Golf season is here and the OG crew is back on the Early Wedge Best Bet Show. I'm your host, Eric Cohen. I'm super excited to pick golf winners with these guys for the next 8 months or so. So let's bring them in. Let's introduce them all. And I just want to say, these are three of the nicest people that you'll ever know, and I'm glad to call them friends. First of all, you can find this guy everywhere, from hosting Early Edge each weekday to dropping golf winners like it's nothing in the fall. It is the great Sia Nejad. And though, go ahead. No,
I'm only dropping golf winners when Sammy Valamaki's in a tournament. Just want to throw that out there.
Okay, that's fair. This next guy may have one of the most unique golf swings that I've ever seen, but he's also been one of the best golf writers on the planet for a long time. Welcome back, the great Jason Sobel.
So, what's your swing look like?
I thought you were talking about Patrick's swing. Is it me? Oh, okay.
You've never seen this swing? It's amazing. And finally, I'm not sure a golf writer goes viral more regularly than this guy on X. Not only is he a literal golf encyclopedia, but he's hilarious. And I guarantee you that he'll get more picks right on the show than his Steelers scored touchdowns last night from CBS Sports. It is Patrick McDonald. By the way, in the chat, as a Packer fan, listen.
Hell of a year, boys.
Hey,
had a good run.
I'm a Packer fan. I will not read any Bears, Lions, or Vikings fans in the chat. I will not read your stuff today.
I got it from Sia during HQ on air, getting it from EC now. And honestly, I have a little bit of a bone to pick with Sia. I was pumped up for this show this afternoon. I had a nice little Americano around 2 p.m. Sia tagged me in his Instagram story, and I give him a rah-rah speech, let's go, let's kill it. And he goes, ha, period. Sounds good. Dude, what?
I never know, when Patrick is talking, what level he's actually on, if there's sarcasm involved. And I just insulted him by comparing Mike Tomlin, the Steelers, but specifically Mike Tomlin to Colin Morikawa. By the way, we got a lot of people in the chat. Somebody wants to fade Lebiota in a 3-ball, and I take exception to that, Jack George. Back to you, EC.
That's where we're starting. That's where we're starting the year. Don't fade Lebiota.
Thank you. Yes, that's where we're starting.
Who the heck even cares about Lebiota at this point?
Excuse you.
He's not even relevant enough to be on the no bet list.
I think it's Leviosa, right?
He's back.
It is Leviosa, and we can definitely fade him.
I will tell you who is back. It's Brooks Koepka. And we have a special storylines this week. Now that Brooks is somehow back on the PGA Tour, Patrick, we're going to start with you. What's going on here?
In general, or
are you surprised that Brooks Koepka is back? And explain your storyline.
I'm not too surprised. No, I think the PGA Tour acted instead of reacted. Really, right? They were pretty swift in their decision making, from what I understand. Where Rolap brought Koepka into PGA Tour HQ. They had a couple one-on-one conversations. Then he got talking to the big players. Then they brought it out to the board. They got approval after they concocted this pathway back out of thin air. And bada bing, bada boom, Brooks Koepka back on the PGA Tour. Obviously, everyone's talking about some of these financial penalties. $5 million charitable donation. That's probably something Koepka does annually as is. And you obviously know the tax implications there. And then, Rolap's rolling out that this is potential of 50 to 90 million in potential earnings that he's missing out on. And I'm a little hesitant to say the PGA Tour is going to grow by that much over the next 5 years, which, Koepka can get into the PGA Tour equity program after 5 years. So I'm just a little, curious if the DCF analysis, discounted cash flow analysis, was correct by those inside the moat. That's my big question.
I think that's a fair point. Now, Sobel, you're okay with this because the grievances have been paid, right?
Yeah, look, I'm going to need a minute here because there's a lot of different moving parts to this thing. First of all, I don't care about Brooks Koepka's money. He's got a big house. He's got a boat. He'll be taken care of. I'm not worried about Brooks Koepka. He gets to come back and play the best tour in the world. I love this move from the PGA Tour. It was the only move to go out there and make. You're in the entertainment business. You have to put the best product out there for the fans. Are we really going to penalize players who want to come back? No. He's a 5-time major champion. He's a popular player. Don't worry about suspensions. Don't worry about hard feelings. Don't worry about grievances. And oh, by the way, all the players who are upset about this, You guys have been paid, and you've been paid back 10 times over with all the loyalty bonuses that you've gotten both on and off the golf course in the name of purses at tournaments, in the name of the PIP, in the name of a whole lot of other things that we don't even know about behind the scenes, TGL, for instance, and a lot of other things. So these guys are getting paid too. Everyone's getting money. Everybody's happy, and especially the fans should be happy because they get a big-time player back on the PGA Tour. Which Brooks Koepka is going to show up? I don't know. I don't know what his game's going to look like, but I know that when he's on, he can still be one of the best players in the world. No-brainer decision for the PGA Tour. I'm glad they did this. I like the fact that it's a new regime. Brian Rolapp, the new CEO of the PGA Tour, doesn't have all the hurt feelings that Jay Monahan, the previous regime, had, and so he's going to go out there and look at the future and not the past. I love everything about this.
So, Sia, I guess I'll go before you because I wonder how soon will Brooks Koepka actually contend? So I'm going to give you a two-parter. How soon do you think that Brooks Koepka will actually be a factor in tournaments? And secondly, what does this do to Liv?
I mean, he's 50-1 to win the Masters. I'm just saying. I don't hate it. He's had some good finishes at the Masters before. Hasn't won it, a couple of second place finishes, and we're not that far removed from his last one a few years back. I think he's going to contend pretty quickly. Like, the thing about Brooks is when he's healthy, and especially when he's contending in a major tournament, he appears to be one of a handful of guys to beat. Now, Scotty Scheffler and Rory are kind of at the top here, but it wouldn't surprise me at all if we're talking about Brooks in a similar context as those guys, at least when we get to major season. So, I mean, I think he's going to contend sooner rather than later. As far as Liv is concerned, and by the way, anytime anybody mentions a boat, I like Brooks Koepka, I always think of the mystery box. I don't know if anybody gets that reference, but a boat's a boat, but a mystery box could be anything. It could even be a boat. As far as Liv, I just wonder, and I don't really care. Like, I'm not really rooting for the demise of Liv necessarily. I am rooting for the PGA Tour. So maybe it's a zero-sum game. You know, one of them's going to have to survive and one of them's going to have to die. But I just wonder what's going to happen with Liv over the next couple of years. I mean, Bryson may end up doing his own thing, but I got to think Jon Rahm, when his contract is up, is just kind of itching to come back as well. I'm absolutely speculating, but if it becomes a watered down tour and you don't have the high flyers like your Brooks Koepkas or Jon Rahms or even your Brysons, I just think it's interesting. It could come and go quicker than people think.
Did you mean to do that? Did you mean to call them high flyers? Because those guys aren't high flyers. The high flyers are Phil Mickelson, Cameron Tringali, Brendan Steele, and Andy Ogletree. I gotta get out more.
That is a majestic comment.
Gotta get out.
I called you an encyclopedia. There's no way, Patrick, I could have named the High Flyers. I couldn't have told you. Didn't even realize it was a team name.
Some people think I'm on the High Flyers. I've been compared to Cameron Tringali in terms of the look-alike game.
Okay, there you have it.
Patrick, do you expect to see Jon Rahm, Bryson DeChambeau, or Cameron Smith on the PGA Tour anytime soon?
Well, today at the Live Golf Media Week, they all said they won't be. Bryson's obviously going through contract negotiations. He's in the last year of his deal. Seems like he's probably going to get the $500 million that he wants if he plays his cards right, and it certainly seemed like he's trying to play his cards right. I'm interested in Rahm, obviously, because he's always come across as more of like a historian of the game, but he also brought people over to Live Golf, right? He brought Terrell Hatton over. And so I'm kind of just curious what his motives are once his contract's up, mostly.
Sobel, when you saw the PGA Tour have these restrictions since 2022, having won a major, this is a shot at Phil Mickelson, right?
Very, very obviously. Tiger was certainly part of the board that put this together, and I would venture to say that he probably had a hand in trying to figure out that timeline. And look, Phil's never coming back. Phil would like to say that he has lifetime membership no matter what, but there's a definite reason why the cutoff was 2022 and not 2021 or another year.
I figured as much. Well, it's good to have Brooks back on tour. We'll see him in Scottsdale after he plays in San Diego in a few weeks. We'll be talking about him on this show and actually giving picks probably with Brooks Koepka at the beginning and middle of the show, not at the end as we've done Live for the last couple of years, because it's not as relevant as the PGA Tour. We know that. All right, let's move on. It's first round leader time. This is Sia Nejad time, but we're going to start. Patrick, you single bulleted one last year, I believe, in FRL, or you single bulleted Ben Griffin. I remember that, to win it all. You have one pick here, and it's a popular name.
Yeah, I'm rolling with Hideki Matsuyama at 35-1. A a practice I am employing in 26 is simply to bet who you think will win the tournament to play well on Thursday. And so I think Hideki Matsuyama is going to win this golf tournament. Spoiler. And so I'm going to bet him on Thursday to be the first round leader. Just, love the course setup. He tends to play some really good golf in January and February. I believe he has double-digit wins in those months and quietly has 3 multiple win seasons these last 4 years, if you include like the Hero World Challenge, which he just happened to win in the Bahamas. So pump for Hideki, especially on a course that might take driver out of his hand a little bit and let that iron play feast. And if he's rolling it like we know he can on those upside days, should be in the mix on Thursday morning too.
I don't usually like to do FRLs, but we have to make an exception in 2026. Keith Mitchell will be every tournament that he is in. I will pick Keith Mitchell, especially at numbers like 55-1, because he's not winning the tournament. Listen, he did this 3 times in 2025. The Truist, the Valspar, and Houston. All we got to do, if you're putting a 1/10 of a unit on each one of these, as I would, you hit this one time, you're up like 3x on the year. You think, right? I mean, Sobel, am I off base here with Keith Mitchell? He's not going to win.
Now, look, I've bet Keith Mitchell more than anybody in the world over the last 7-8 years, and I have nothing to show for it. I spoke with Keith. I interviewed him on PGA Tour Radio about a month ago, and I told the story to my producer of just how much I've played Keith Mitchell because, and it's not. This is not to his detriment. It's like I think he's a really good player. All the stats bear it. He looks like the part of a top 20 kind of player. It just doesn't ever come to fruition. He's still got 1 win that was in 2019 at what used to be called the Honda Classic. And I still think he's a really good player. It just hasn't ever happened. My producer was trying to goad me into telling Keith Mitchell just how many times I've bet on him and haven't won and trying to give him some crap for it. And I couldn't go there with him, but I think he might know. I'm pretty sure he knows that.
Another guy who you like to bet on or on this show, I think Patrick really likes to bet on him a lot, and he doesn't usually win, is Jordan Spieth. Tell us why you're picking him for FRL.
I don't like to bet Jordan Spieth, but I do think that it's going to be a good year for Jordan. I'm more bullish on Jordan than probably a lot of others are. Last year, he finished, I believe, 15th on the PGA Tour in strokes gained total, which is the greatest barometer that we have of performance. So I know the results weren't there, but he wasn't playing bad golf last year. I think that he's going to play even better this year. Remember, they had their 3rd kid middle of the season last year. So obviously some distractions there, had some injuries he was coming back from, but I think it's going to be a really good year from Spieth. I'm still reticent to go after him for a 4-round investment until I see some of that. So single round investment. And for those who are new to the show or new to hearing my analysis of 1st round leader plays, I like volatility in 1st round leaders. It doesn't matter if you go out and shoot 78. If you got a chance of shooting 64 and being on top of the board after Thursday, I'll take a shot on you. Jordan Spieth is the most volatile golfer that we see on the PGA Tour. And then Ricky Castillo. Yes, it's Castillo, not Castillo. It looks like Castillo. He pronounced it Castillo. 15th on the PGA Tour in round 1 scoring average last year. And just trying to throw a dart at one with a big number next to his name. And I went with Ricky there.
I probably would have butchered that name at some point, Sobel, so thank you. It's only a matter of time. Yeah, we'll see how many shows we can go before I butcher a name. Sia, 2 things that I have learned to never mess with you about. Well, actually, I just lost $100 today because of you, because I joined a DFS pool that you are in, a season-long pool that you're in, and going up against Sia for a year in DFS, golf DFS, is like throwing $100 down the toilet. So congratulations to you for taking my money. Nonetheless, I will never go up against you in FRLs either, and you have 5 of them. Start with Harry Hall.
Yeah, these are all like relative long shots, although Harry Hall, not necessarily. And I don't have Harry Hall as an outright, but obviously his number is pretty low. And Harry Hall's a guy that like obviously is a pretty good course fit, and we know he can get super nuclear with the putter. So I like him at 55-1. I should mention each of these 5 guys are in the morning except for Mac Meisner. I made an exception for Mac Meisner, who goes out in the afternoon. Cootie, a guy that is, talk about volatility. I've got Cootie and Schenk on this list. These are guys, I mean, I guess everybody is, Seamus Power included. They can get really cold or they can get really hot, and that's a pretty good formula for 1st round leader, especially when you're looking at odds in the 75 to 130 to 1 range. Cootie is one of those guys that you don't necessarily know what tournament he's going to flash, but can absolutely get red hot. So like him at 75, Mac Meisner, look at the metrics for Mac Meisner. I mean, and it seems pretty sustained. He's played here before and he finished, I think, 21st. I think he's got a shot to win this tournament actually as a long shot, but to be a round one leader, I think is very much in play at 75 to 1. Seamus Power is interesting. He's played the Sony a bunch of times. He has one good finish and the rest of his finishes are pretty terrible. But what I've noticed about Seamus Power, other than this spike putting that we can see from Seamus Power, is that during the fall swing, he appears to have found something on approach. And it is the fall swing. I understand we don't necessarily look at that the same way. But if he actually did find something on approach, I think he could really make a deep run in this tournament, like him as a first-round leader. And then I mentioned Adam Schenk. I mean, he just won recently. He's a guy that can pop up any given moment. I don't expect him to win this tournament, but he could have a good 18.
Well, Sia, you have been money in the bank with these. I tried it once last year, hit Justin Rose. I'm not sure I should do this again. I hit him at the Masters. But listen, we're going to give this a shot. You put, what, a tenth of a unit? Or Sia, what's kind of your average play here?
Collectively, on all 5 of these, I have somewhere between 0.3 and 0.4 units. Like, this is not, like, altogether, I don't even have a half a unit on my first-round leaders. These are truly sprinkle plays.
Fair enough. Coming up next, it's matchup time. I'm buying one player that is being faded by someone else in a separate matchup. It's a lot to go around here after we hear from one of our sponsors.
The new era of UFC on Paramount Plus comes out swinging. Show-stopping highlight machine Justin Gaethje collides with Liverpool phenom Paddy Pimblett in a must-see main event for the interim lightweight belt.
This is how I get down.
And Hall of Famer Amanda Nunes returns.
She's the best ever.
To take on bantamweight champion Kayla Harrison in the biggest women's title fight of all time. UFC 324, Saturday, January 24th, only on Paramount Plus.
All right, Patrick, you're going a couple of matchups here. One of them is a guy that I'm actually going to talk about in the next segment, Kurt Kitayama, and you're fading him. So can you start and explain why you're going against my guy Kitayama this week?
I just like McCarty a lot this week. You know, there's something in my bones telling me Matt McCarty's going to have a good week. Really good driver of the golf ball, good mid-iron player, can just make a ton of putts when he's on the greens. And we talked to him over the break, and he was telling us how an underrated aspect not really talked about is how, first year on the PGA Tour, you're at a really big disadvantage without that institutional knowledge of having played the golf course for years and years. And he was kind of chomping at the bit of getting to see all these golf courses for the second time, with this being his second full season on the PGA Tour. So he had a great fall swing. I think he rolls it over, continues to play well on this West Coast. So minus 111 over Kurt Kitayama. Nothing really against Kitayama. I mean, he's a tee to green darling. Pretty much everyone loves to boast those numbers, but I just like McCarty a little bit more. And then Keegan Bradley minus 105 over Colin Morikawa. Going to take a little bit of a wait and see approach with Morikawa. I understand the course fit is awesome for him, but Bradley's been great around this place. He's played, not serious golf, but he's been around the game a lot this fall between the Skins game, Golf Channel games, TG. He's doing a ton of stuff right now, Keegan Bradley. So I expect him following the Ryder Cup year to really hit the ground running in 26. So I'll take Bradley at minus 105 or Morikawa too.
So you don't expect to see kind of a hangover effect from Keegan being the captain, getting some grief for the first couple days at the Ryder Cup?
I think Keegan Bradley, like outside of the big guys like Scotty and Rory, is probably the most interesting player heading into 2026, just with how he was kind of set up to fail, I thought, by the PGA, by being captain, and how well he played inside the ropes in 25, like a top 10 player in the world. And, everyone's saying like his Ryder Cup dream's over. I think he still has a shot to make that team in 27, to tell you the truth. I don't really expect him to slow down too much. So I don't think there's going to be a hangover from September's Ryder Cup now.
All right. Fair enough. Let's move on. Sia. I really like Nico this week. I'm going to give him out later in the show, and you're playing him as well. I mean, this guy finished second here last year and arguably should have won.
We're going to hear more about Nico later in the show, and also Keegan Bradley. So buckle up for that. And I know there were some people in the chat that referenced Nico as a first-round leader, Eric Cole as a first-round leader. Just so everybody knows, the only reason I didn't end up having them on my card is because they're going out in the afternoon. And frankly, it might not be a huge difference between the afternoon and morning, but when I'm looking for factors to X people out, I mean, usually that is going to be one of the factors. Rico Hoey is a guy that obviously is an elite ball striker, like one of the most elite ball strikers on the PGA Tour. And that's going to get you somewhere for sure in this tournament. But when you're going up against Nico Echeverria, who is not the ball striker that Rico Hoey is, I mean, they're in two different hemispheres as far as I'm concerned there. When you've got the putter that Nico has, I think it makes up for a lot. And I'm not trusting Rico Hoey with his new putter and whatever he's trying. Like, I don't know that that's going to come to fruition here. And when I see Nico Echeverria with such great recent form, I mean, I'm not talking about his actual recent form, although that looks pretty good too, but the Sony form, second, 66th, T12 over his last 3 at the Sony. I mean, this is a really good course fit for him. And I don't think Hoey's going to make it there with the putter. So I like Nico at minus 112 here.
Sobel, you and I mean, I'm going to talk about all 3 of these players later in the show. You're fading Nick Taylor, but first talk about Harry Hall, who I really, really like this week. Best putter on tour last year.
Yeah, Harry Hall rolls the rock. And look, if you're going to make a lot of birdies, I think it's been an average score of 19 under par at Wiley over the last 5 years for the winning score. You've got to make some putts, and Harry Hall makes a ton of putts. He was 10th here a year ago. A lot to like about Harry Hall. He's got sort of this seriousness to him. He's almost got a little, maybe it's the hat. He kind of looks like Bryson a little bit. He kind of stomps his way around the golf course. And I kind of like the look of Harry Hall. I think he's probably a lot better than he gets credit for. And I think he's got a little chip on his shoulder. And I think it's going to be a really nice year for him. I'm taking him top European. We've got Robert McIntyre up there. I'm forgetting 1 or 2 others right near the top, but
Aaron Rye's up there.
There you go, Aaron Rye. But it's not a great list of Europeans who are making the trip over there this week. So I think Harry Hall makes a lot of sense at plus 500. And then for my matchup, Chris Kirk, who has a ton of experience on this golf course. He's won over here. He's got a lot of top finishes. Taking him over Nick Taylor. I feel like the Nick Taylor numbers are just inflated a little too much because he won here last year, that if he hadn't won, if he had finished 3rd or 4th, that we wouldn't be looking at Nick Taylor as short as he is in most of these markets. And so I'm going to go with the experience of Chris Kirk over Nick Taylor.
All right, now you're going to fade Taylor. I'm going to play Taylor at plus money over Corey Connors. You can find this one on FanDuel. I'm putting a unit on this. Actually, I may even go bigger because I love this so much. Corey Connors, 7 appearances here, only 1 top 10, and he's lost more than 12 strokes on the greens combined in his last 3 here. We know Corey Connors can stripe it with the irons as well as anybody, but that putter is not great. Meanwhile, Nick Taylor in his last 4, 11, 7, 7, and then he won in a playoff here last year, gained more than 16 putting in his last 4. That's enough for me. Nick Taylor is going to hit this one. I am confident right off the bat. We'll start with a unit play, but I'm confident at plus money that I will have more correct picks in the matchup section than Patrick McDonald's Steelers had touchdowns last night.
Nick Taylor.
Nick Taylor. What do you think, Patrick? Are you with me? Well, what? You think I'm jinxing him already?
Yes.
I don't love how confident you are.
I love this Nick Taylor bet. All right, let's talk about finishing positions. Patrick, we'll start with you, a guy that actually looked at Ryan Gerard. Pretty good play, but I mean, the offseason form, was it that great? Like, are we buying Ryan Gerard to win this year? Are we buying that?
EC, this guy traveled over multiple oceans, over 10,000 miles to Mauritius. You know where that is?
I have no idea. Sia, exactly. Do you know where that is?
Is it off New Zealand?
Oceania.
No. It's off the coast of Africa.
Okay. Mm-hmm. Is it
finished
Oceania?
Second in a playoff in the DP World Tour.
Seems all about Oceania last year. I thought it was going to be Oceania.
Yeah, Patrick, what continent is that? Does that count as Africa?
It's Africa.
Okay. All right, continue. Sorry.
Yes, just off Africa does count as Africa.
Yes. Okay.
And he finished second on the DP World Tour to punch his ticket into the Masters. It was everywhere. But he granted CBS Sports the exclusive interview with yours truly.
Ooh.
It was not very exclusive. But we talked a little bit about golf architecture, and I was like, what do you like? He's like, I love these old school Seth Rayner designs, which is what we have at Wiley Country Club. So I know this guy is very confident in himself. I don't know if the game has quite caught up to how confident he is, but I'm not going to say it's not going to catch up. And so he won on the PGA Tour last year, obviously the Barracuda, I believe. And so top 20 at plus 280. I think he's one of these guys who's going to just keep on rising and rising. And, with his affinity and love for Seth Rayner Designs. Going to take a chance for the top 20.
All right. Sobel. Or actually, we'll go to Sia here. Sia, you talked about Keegan Bradley, or he was talked about in the last segment. You have him top 20. Why so low? Patrick's hyping him up. Why are we going so low with top 20?
Well, I play it safe with these, and on my finishing positions, I typically bet only a half a unit. I did have this originally, just so you know, at top 10 for him, and I think it was like plus 210 or something like that. I just think this is like, I think this is more of a safe play, but I think Keegan Bradley, even if he has just an okay tournament, I think he finds himself inside the top 20. More on Keegan later, and specifically his experience at the Sony Open. Mac Meisner top 40, another conservative play. I originally had this at top 30, which, oh, by the way, is plus 135. You can only bet the top 30 market, as far as I know, over at DK. But what I loved about the top 40 is that you can bet it at BetMGM, where you can bet it everywhere else, but we know that ties are included. So the difference between plus 135 and minus 110, when I'm getting ties with the top 40 and I'm not getting ties with the top 30, was a pretty big difference to me. So I played it conservative here as well. Love how Meisner's been playing. The putter's been pretty good. The ball striking's been great. And in this field, I think Mac Meisner is going to show up.
And how many units do you put on each one of these plays?
Half a unit on my finishing positions, because I personally think there's a little bit more volatility for me in my betting with finishing positions, because I'm not just going, like, my round matchups are 1 unit plays. Tournament matchups, it kind of depends between a half and a full unit. And I'll try to clarify that on the show. Like, when I really like a tournament matchup, it'll be a full unit. But I just think there's so much volatility especially in a tournament like this, where everybody's sort of in play, and there's so many guys that we think are maybe not great golfers that can kind of creep up inside the top 20 or top 30 and bump some guys out. So I just feel like this market can be a little finicky sometimes, especially on courses like this.
Sobel, you and I think alike. Well, I don't know if you
take me out of that.
I don't know if I should apologize to you.
Yeah, is that a compliment or an insult?
Not cool.
I actually really like both of these plays this week, even though we know one of these guys has no chance to win. Go ahead. Do tell us about Russ Henley and JJ Spawn.
I know which one, too. First of all, I want to go back before I start. I love Patrick's Ryan Gerard play. I had that in my preview piece at BetMGM this week for top 20. He's played golf more recently competitively than anybody else in the field, so I think that makes a lot of sense. Secondly, as we're going to see in a minute, I'm getting a little aggressive with my outright plays this week, and when I do that, I like being a little more conservative with my finishing position plays. There are other times when I might like, say it's a Scotty Scheffler week and I like Scotty Scheffler to win, I'll become more aggressive with the finishing position plays. But this week is the opposite. So I'm getting conservative with a couple of the favorites for top 10s. Russell Henley, look, we all know the record here. Won in his first start as a PGA Tour member. That was 13 years ago. I was there that week. Played great golf, and we thought he was just going to be a great putter. He's turned himself into a really good ball striker who barely ever wins. He's 5th in the world. He's won exactly 1 golf tournament in the last 3 years. He's number 5 in the world, EC. I wonder where that's going to land him when we get to a list later on this show. And then JJ Spawn, look, I feel like JJ Spawn is Indiana right now. JJ Spawn is, you've seen it. You know he's really good. You still don't really believe it. You're still kind of like, yeah, if that was Colin Morikawa who was winning the U.S. Open, you'd be like, man, he's so good. It's JJ Spawn doing it and finishing in the playoff of the Players and losing in the playoffs as well. But you're kind of like, I'm not really sure if I'm buying into it. Just like Indiana. A lot of people are watching Indiana saying, I guess they're for real. If that was Alabama or Georgia or Ohio State across the front of their unis, we'd be saying it's one of the best teams in college football history. But no one quite buys into Indiana. No one buys into JJ Spawn. I'm telling you, he's really, really good. He's turned the corner. He's found something. Top 10 and maybe for the win this week. I didn't put him in my outright card, but I wouldn't be surprised.
That's a really good analogy, Sobel. It's like if he was named somebody else, we'd be betting him like crazy. And
he'd also probably 10-1, quite honestly.
Yeah. I mean, I already embarrassed myself twice on the early edge with Sia by picking against Indiana both times.
What?
See, I will. I did. I won't be doing it again. See, I promise you.
Picked Alabama?
I did.
Oh my God.
I did.
Dude.
So I came back on the early edge on New Year's Day.
Next week.
Well, Patrick, I'm just trying to. I don't know the geography.
I'm a college football moron, and I saw that coming from.
Well, we know how you pick games. Whoever's more east is you pick. So Indiana, Miami, right? Remember, that's what you told us last year.
That's basketball.
That's
completely
basketball.
different.
By the way, Patrick, do you know who's number one in college basketball right now?
Do you know what month it is?
I don't care. I don't care what month. Sia, can you tell
Talk
Patrick,
to me in March, my man.
who is the number one team? What soft school is the number one team?
You said it, not me.
As
I don't think I've
Sia
ever
calls
called
them
Arizona soft.
Who's
They are
number
soft.
one?
They are also number 1, the Arizona Wildcats.
That's right. Okay, now I can get onto my picks. Thank you. Listen, I'm going Chris Kirk, top 10, top 20. So he won the first event in Hawaii last year. He has 3 top 3s here lifetime, finishes of T2, 3, and 18th in the last 5 years. Now, he lost more than 4.6 strokes putting here combined the last 2 years. If he can turn that around, he's going to top 10 here. Worst case, I think he top 20, so we're getting plus money on both those. And other people, I believe somebody in the chat brought up Kitayama. Since last July in 8 events, he has a win, 2 top 5s, 3 top 10s, and 5 top 20s. And yes, I counted that up. Kitayama's been a tee to green machine in his last 11 tracked events, the ones that, have the shots gained stuff. A good formula for Wildlife Country Club. And if he can putt to the field average, top 20, we're getting that at plus 160. I'm calling that. If he goes above, we got top 10 or beyond. Feeling really, really good about that. And, guys, what do you think? Sobel, you with me on my 2 guys, or are you out?
Yeah, at least for top 20. But yeah, I do like Kirk this week. And Kirk Kitayama has been very good for a while. I could see him having a good week this week. I like him more on a longer golf course. He's a big hitter. You don't need that kind of firepower at Waialae, but sure, I like Kitayama.
So I just want to say, before we go to break, on the last episode of Early Wedge that I was on in August, I think I gave out like a 5-unit play on Scotty Scheffler to win. And I said that Tommy Fleetwood had no chance to win. Yes. It was an embarrassment. I've learned my lesson.
That's why you weren't on the shows in the fall.
That's why I got banned for the fall. We know that. I mean, I'm glad that Sia did not ban me after picking against Indiana twice. So I promise good golf picks, at least to start off the year. I'm calling it right now. Promise good golf picks. I promise. Coming up next, wait till you see the no bet list. It is back, all new. Can't wait to get your guys' thoughts on it after we hear from one of our sponsors.
Great.
When you need your sports news all the time,
we've got breaking news to bring to you.
CBS Sports HQ gives you a snapshot of all the sports that matter to you. When you need your sports in a snap, find it on CBS Sports HQ, streaming free anywhere you are.
All right, you guys ready for this? It is the 2026 Do Not Bet list. Brand new. We have some repeat names, but here it is. I'm going to give you one sentence for each as to why these guys are on the list. So Akshay has 1 top 10 in his last 20 events. Alex Noren has never won on tour. Why start now? Corey Connors can only win in San Antonio. He has 2 PGA Tour wins. They're both in San Antonio. Colin Morikawa hasn't won an America in 5 years. Jordan Spieth hasn't won, period, in almost 4 years. Justin Thomas, we saw Xander hurt last year. Justin Thomas is hurt. He's not going to be fully healthy for a while. We fade him. Keith Mitchell, he'll win first rounds, not tournaments. Shane Lowry has won 1 solo event on American soil in his long career. Not going to happen again this year. Matt Fitzpatrick has won 1 PGA Tour non-major event on American soil in his career. Not happening again. Russell Henley was gifted a win at last year's API by Colin Morikawa. Before that, he hadn't won a regular season PGA Tour event, Patrick, since what year?
Well, actually, your stipulation's wrong because when he won in Mayakoba, it was technically the regular season.
I'm talking, all right, between the months of January and August.
Weird.
What? Encyclopedia Patrick got me. He hasn't won during these months since 2017. Justin Rose, he's 45. Do we really want to bet him at anything under than his age, odds-wise? No, we don't. And finally, Max Grazerman. Listen, Grazerman last year did me dirty in Detroit. It was sickening. One of the worst beats I've ever had in any sport in my entire life. It's right up there with the 2014 Bahamas Bowl for most disgusting beats of all time. If you don't know what I mean, look it up. So Max Grazerman will forever be on this list. Do not let me bet him, please. Gentlemen, Sobel, who's going to start? Who's going to break this list first?
Could go this week. I don't love Colin Morikawa this week, but Colin Morikawa is too good to have the season that he had last year again. Colin Morikawa will win this year. He might win fairly soon. He tends to play some of his best golf on the West Coast. So again, it comes down to who's going to break it first. Well, guys that play well on the West Coast, that's where we're going first. And so I look at Morikawa, and there's a handful of really good plays for him. Pebble could be a really good spot for him as well. I would go with Morikawa on this list.
Patrick, there are 12 names on this initial list. How many will be crossed off by the end of the season?
First, I just got to say, you were giving me anxiety the way you were going through that list, not doing it in order. You were just around.
I'm sorry. Yeah, I had it in my. Yeah, that's my fault. I had my notes. That's my bad. Okay.
How many are one of these guys could win at Pebble Beach. I look at Morikawa. Spieth has a great history there. Rose does too. Fitzpatrick, I think, would be live there. So I think Pebble Beach could be a good landing zone for the first winner here. I would say we have 12.
Yep.
I would go over 5.5 winners.
Really? Sia.
Yeah.
You taking the over or the under of Patrick's
5.5.
5.5 out of 12.
Total. So someone could win multiple times.
Okay, fine. 5.5 wins on this list.
Okay. Because I think we're going to have 2 lines through Matt Fitzpatrick's name. So that is a interesting stipulation you just added there. I will take the under on 5.5, but Matt Fitzpatrick is that's the one that's going to break your heart first, I think. He got super hot over the summer. I think he's found something.
Yeah.
Because there was a couple of years there it wasn't looking good for Matt Fitzpatrick, but
new workout regimen.
Whatever it was, he looks like a different golfer to me.
He's won one time on American soil. If he beats me, then we can bet him. I can't bet him until he beats me in a non-major on American soil.
T8 at the Rocket Classic. Then next week, T4 at the Scottish Open Championship T4, then the Wyndham Championship T8. Those are 4 of his last 6 tournaments. I mean, this guy is like turned it on. You look at the strokes gain metrics. It's not the same Matt Fitzpatrick that we saw 2 years prior. It just isn't. He's a different guy.
I don't want to dig too deep on this list or too deep into the analysis, but a lot of this is dependent the way the PGA Tour is structured right now with the best of the best playing each other, not just in the majors, the playoff events, players, but also all of the signature events. So there aren't a whole lot of other times when Akshay Bhatia is going to play in an event where you're not playing against the Scotties and the Rorys and the Xanders. So what I think this comes down to is not just will these 12 guys play well and go out and win this year, but if Scotty and Rory and Xander are going to play the way we know they can play, if they're each going to win multiple events, all of a sudden you're really cutting down on the number of opportunities there are for all these other guys.
Fair enough. Point. All right, now let's bring in everybody's outrights for this week. We'll start with you, Patrick. I thought about Hideki, but you're welcome that I did not jinx him. So tell us why you like him.
Well, he won his last event. Obviously, the Hero World Challenge. Guy just wins, probably doesn't get the respect, I would say, as like some of these other prolific winners. He has multiple win seasons in 3 out of the last 4 years. Wins a lot in this time of the year. Has won here before, won the Century. So clearly comfortable in coastal golf. And at 22-1, that was my first click of the week. And then I talked about Matt McCarty and Ryan Gerard, both of these guys with the second full season on the PGA Tour, I think are in store for really, really solid year. So McCarty at 60 and Gerard at 70.
Sobel, I was going to put Denny McCarthy on this list. He has never won. He is like throwing money down the garbage disposal, but you think this week may be the difference?
Look, I love the number on him. I get that he hasn't won, but looking back at his ball striking numbers last year, he was in the top 70 for the first time, I believe, in his career in strokes gained on approach shots. And of course, we all know he's a great putter. He's 4th on the PGA Tour. I think it's coming. So before I talk about these guys individually, this week is usually one of my favorite cheat codes because if you look back over history, the players that go to Kapalua, and granted, it's usually the better players. So, it's a little the scales weighed in their favor a little bit. But the players who go to Kapalua, first of all, your body clock is on Hawaii time. You've had the opportunity to go to the beach, go to the ocean, have a Mai Tai, get all that out of your system. And you've played 4 rounds of competitive golf by the time you get to Wailea. We, of course, don't have that this year. Everyone's flying blind. And so there's really no form to speak of right now coming into this one. And so for me, it levels the playing field a little bit. And I'm looking for those bigger numbers. I thought the number on McCarthy was really good there at 55-1. And I love Michael Kim. Michael Kim's been playing some really good golf. Another guy who probably doesn't get the respect just because we think back to his history. And after he won the John Deere Classic, 7-8 years ago, the game fell apart for a really long time. And he was not the kind of player that could actually compete and contend on the PGA Tour. He's played really well. He won in September in France on the DP World Tour. I think that's a great number next to his name. And I'll have another guy for a long shot in just a little bit with a bigger number next to his name. But I like chasing some of these guys a little bit further down the board just because of that level playing field this week.
Man, I'm feeling embarrassed that my long shots are behind all three of your outrights, my long shot parlays. Boy, I need to step it up. Sia, you talked about, I believe, all three of these guys earlier in the show, Keegan, Nico, and Mac.
Yeah, the only thing I didn't mention about Keegan specifically is his history here. And I'm going off memory, but I think it's T2, T6, missed cut, and T12, three of his last four inside the top 12. And he does strike me, and I think the evidence of what he's done at the Sony is reflective of this, but he does strike me as a guy that's actually going to come to these tournaments and not just kind of be warming up, that he's going to be ready and is going to want to win. And I don't know that you can say that about everybody on the Hawaii swing. So I really do like Keegan. I think he's very under the radar. It was between Keegan and Hideki, and I know Patrick had Hideki. I did have Denny and Michael Kim on my initial list as well. I should throw that out there. But yeah, Nico Echeverria, we talked about him, just like the number there. And Mac Meisner, I don't really expect him to close on a Sunday necessarily. And so maybe in the without market, like you're doing, EC, makes more sense for somebody like Mac Meisner. But with that said, the metrics really speak to me. And again, if you look at the metrics and you don't know the guy's name is Mac Meisner, you might think he's somebody else because it is looking pretty good for him right now.
So I played the without market this week. I am not afraid of Russell Henley. I'm definitely not afraid of Colin Morikawa, but I am afraid of JJ Spawn, Hideki Matsuyama, and Ben Griffin, who we have not talked about. Ben Griffin's so solid. Patrick, single bullet winner last year. We'll never forget that. One of the highlights on this show, watching you pick him, I believe at Colonial. Is that where he won Colonial? Did I get that right?
Yeah, I think it was 500-1 that week.
Yeah, it was not that far, but
maybe 500 unit play too.
Yeah.
It's a great pick.
You got it, Sobel. We're on the same.
How about Siwoo Kim? This guy's won here before. He had 3 top 5s and 5 worldwide events in the fall. And the putter, the putter is always the question mark, but all 4 of his PGA Tour wins have been on Bermuda grass, which they are playing at Waialae Country Club. So we're going to take a shot there. Harry Hall, I believe Sobel talked about him earlier. He had a top 10 last year. I think he finished T10. He gained nearly 9 strokes putting on debut and 7 last year. And he gained 5 on approach in 2024. If he can put all that together, get the approach, get the putting together, he's going to win. And Sobel's going to win his bet, and we're going to look really smart. And then I also like Nico for every thing that Sia said. I should have won last year if not for Nick Taylor hitting a ridiculous chip on the 18th. So I think Nico's going to come out fired up and ready to go, and I will bet him even more in our long shots sections. That's pretty good outrights. Let's hope one of us gets on the board early. We had a really good year last year collectively in picking outrights. Let's keep it going this year. So, all right, let's see what we have long shot wise. And there we go. All right, Patrick, 100-1 right off the bat. Max McGreevy. Where'd you come up with this one?
I thought it was a misprint. This guy finished 3rd in Bermuda, 2nd at the RSM Classic. Just roll it in. Was able to get into those signature events by finishing inside the Aon Next 10 in the fall swing. So playing some good golf. Obviously a bit of a layoff, but confident. Has competed in full field. So 100-1, I think is doable. I think for McGreevy this week.
Okay, Sia, you have some big numbers, including Shankit. 300-1. Didn't this guy win in the fall?
He did. Eric Cole at 90-1. What's interesting about this number, I'll tell everybody, this number's over at DK. MGM and FanDuel have properly set his number in the 50 to 60 range. And I don't know if DK knows something that we don't know, but I think this is way too long for Eric Cole, a guy whose fall swing was pretty good, a guy who can spike with approach on the putter. And we know that because that's his game. He's not good off the tee, but his last 2 at the Sony, that's exactly what he did. And that led to a 5th and a 13th for Eric Cole. So really like him at this number, frankly, even at 60-1, I think it's a completely fair number. Seamus Power, I mentioned him earlier. A guy that might have found something on approach during the fall swing and can get absolutely red hot with the putter. And I think his experience here, oh, that's right, I mentioned it. It's not good except for, I think 3 years ago, he ended up being T3. So the upside is there at the Sony for Seamus Power. I like where the game is trending. Adam Schenk is a dart, but he's the perfect dart, right? I had him as a first-round leader. He's shown, I guess that was his second tournament that he won, I believe, right? Didn't he win a few years ago as well?
No.
Okay, so
Adam Schenk, no.
First one. Yeah.
Or did he come? That was his first
We
win?
had a bad beat at the Valspar.
Behind the tree.
And
Yep.
one of the Texas events too. Yeah.
My bad. Yeah, the one where he was stuck behind a tree. For some reason, I thought he might have won that one. Either way, 300-1 on Adam Schenk, who recently won and can get red hot with the putter and on approach. I'll take that number.
All right. Sobel, if your parlay hits, I'm going to send you a bottle of champagne. That at 1,400-1. I mean, see, this is what we do on the show. You have $1 laying around. Who wouldn't want to make 1,419 of those with your Michael Kim Thorbjorn Olesen parlay?
I'm going to preface this by saying that I don't think any of my winning parlays will ever hit. And so maybe I reverse jinx it a little bit. That said, yeah, like EC said, these are dollars here. It is not like a big play, but hey, it's fun. You know what? Every once in a while, you have a sweat on a Saturday afternoon. You're like, well, he's in third and he's in fourth, and we're watching both tournaments. We're like, all right, we got something going on the weekend, and maybe we hit one of these. So we'll see. Michael Kim, I really like. Talked about him already. Thorbjorn Olesen, I think he's going to win on the PGA Tour. Actually, he's one of the guys that his performance outclassed his results last year. You look at the way he played; he was top 20 in strokes gained total, but really results-wise, didn't really have any of those peak weeks. That I believe one third-place finish, and that was about it. Really had to play his way through the fall part of the schedule just to keep his card and his full playing privileges. But he is indeed back, has his card. He's playing on the DP World Tour this week, in a place where they've only played once before. It was a couple of years ago, and Thorbjorn was top 10 there. As for my other play this week, long shot, Takumi Kanaya. He was the number one amateur in the world for 55 weeks. He's been pro for a while now, just starting to come into his own, starting to feel more comfortable on the PGA Tour. 3 top 5s in the fall. Like Olesen, he's a guy that just barely kept his card. He's going to do something good with it, but there aren't a whole lot of golf courses where Kanaya can go out there and contend just because he's a shorter hitter, relies on short game and putting. This is a perfect golf course for him. I like him a lot.
Okay, we shall see about that. They also maybe top Japanese as well there. If you want to take a shot on Kanai, you probably get a pretty nice number there as well, or top, rest of world. I'm going, listen, look at this first parlay, 60-1. Nick Taylor won here last year. He beat Nico in a playoff, and JJ Spawn finished T3. Can they repeat it? If so, well, or close to that, we got 60-1, and I'm putting 1/10 of a unit on it. Let's take a shot. And then here's one for you, inspired by Sobel. I'm taking Henley and Matsuyama top 10 here in Hawaii. Andy Sullivan in Dubai has 3 of his last 4 events have been in the top 10. And I've never heard of this next guy, Jaden Shaper. I don't know. He's South African. I don't know if they pronounce it differently. He has 3 top 2s, including 2 wins in his last 3 events. Patrick, I don't know who this guy is, but if he could do it at top 5 again, I got 78-1. What do we know about Shaper?
I think he's like 24 from South Africa, like you said, and kind of just rolled through. What was that? The end of 2025. Yeah, won the Alfred Dunhill, and he beat Ryan Gerard in the playoff at Mauritius. He chipped in for eagle on the first playoff hole. So young kid, and obviously playing some really, really good golf. He finished T2 in South Africa before the back-to-back wins as well.
I had him for a first-round leader at the Alfred Dunhill in December at 28-1.
You're sick.
It didn't hit.
You are sick.
I'm looking at it now. I had Shaper, Bradbury, Lindbergh, and Van Tonder, first-round leaders.
I don't even know who those middle 2 guys are. I've never heard of them. We should play a game like Golfer on the DP World Tour or another random. I literally have never heard of those guys before.
That's actually a good game. I would like to know who's the highest ranked player on the official world golf ranking that EC doesn't know.
I'm pretty good.
Number 31.
Who's that?
It's a guy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Might be right.
Go ahead. Let's see if I give me the name and let's see if I can name something about him.
I need to make sure it's the correct guy. I hate
While
that.
you're looking that up, Patrick, can I just because in December we don't have the PGA Tour, and I'm trying to hit first round leaders. I'm trying to hit outrights. Can I just read a tweet that I authored on December 14th, 2025?
Please, yes.
And I remember this so vividly because it was Sunday morning, and I woke up, and it was the tournament was happening overnight. An awful beat for our Chikara outright tickets. Not only did he get tracked down by Shaper to lose the outright, but our without tickets, the without market, without Shaper tickets, also lose thanks to Sean Norris erasing a 7-shot deficit in the final round. Tough results on a good read. Do y'all remember that? Sean Norris having that nuclear round on Sunday in mid-December? I lost a lot of money because of that.
Who's Sean Norris?
He's a guy on the DP World Tour.
Oh,
he's in that movie Dodgeball. He's one of the judges at the end.
I mean, you could have. I would have
gives
thought
him the thumbs up.
Yeah, would have as good a guess as any. See, that's terrible. I wouldn't bet again for a while. I literally that's like a stop betting for a while. Patrick, who's number 31 that I need to
number 31, which is kind of tough.
Best Norwegian in the world.
Neergaard Peterson.
Close, wrong country. Christopher Rattan.
So he's new. Rattan. I know he's new on the tour. He qualified. I don't know anything about him from the DP World Tour, but I did pick him in one of my season-long leagues.
Yeah, dude, he's 31 in the world.
How the hell is he 31?
He won last year shooting like 63, 62 on a weekend at a DP World Tour event.
Hits it a mile.
And he won the net
mile, makes a ton of birdies.
I have heard of Marco Penge. I know he's sick this week, but he will be bet a lot on the show. I remember we talked about him last
time. Change club.
Yeah.
Does that make a difference? You know, they're right down the road. You know, the headquarters right down the road from where I live here. Yeah, right down the road here.
I know. No? I just got offered to interview a hologram of the founder at the PGA show. I had to turn it down.
And with that, we're debuting a new segment.
Come to our booth. You can interview our CEO, Bob Parsons. Cool part is, it's a hologram of him.
Probably better than the regular. Okay. We're debuting something a little bit different here. We call it Future Focus. And every week we're going to give out something, a futures bet to put on your radar. Maybe you'll get a few bucks in early based on something that may happen this weekend, based on something that has already happened. So we're going to start with Patrick. Really? You had to put the Steelers in there?
Dude,
you don't even know who's their coach going to be next year.
Well, so here's the thing. I was picking, like, I was early to market on my picks this week. Did it Monday afternoon, right when Josh sent us the outline. And I was like, man, I'm feeling really good about this Steelers game. And then I look at that first drive, Jalen Warren, 10 yards up the gut. Nice pass to DK Metcalf. I'm like, this game is legitimately over. The Pittsburgh Steelers are going to the Super Bowl, rematch of Super Bowl 40 against the Seahawks. We win again. And then the fourth quarter happened. And now we're out of a head coach. So my future was going to be the Pittsburgh Steelers to win the Super Bowl. But
you pivoted, fortunately, to who?
I pivoted. Yeah, never put that in because they don't want to see me win. And then Josh asked me to put a real one in. And Cameron Young to win the PGA Championship at 70-1. Yep. Think about the Mink or Anamik in Philadelphia, Northeast. Cameron Young from the area. Anytime you get Cameron Young on the East Coast, I think is good just because where he played college and where he grew up. But then you think about the major championship pedigree he has. Think about the PGA Championship and what that tournament has turned into. Think about the weather in Philadelphia, probably cold. You're going to have to hit it far. And then you think about the designer of that golf course, Donald Ross. Pretty sure Cameron Young just won on a Donald Ross. So you add that all up, and a lot of people think Cameron Young's going to be a breakout star in 2026. Some people might circle the Masters, but I'm looking at the PGA Championship.
I'm betting that in the without Matt Fitzpatrick market. It's probably like 55.
I like Matt Fitzpatrick that week too.
I will tell you, Patrick, I'm in a season-long one and done. I'm in a bunch of them, but one of them, you make all your picks before the season starts. So like we had to do it last week.
Whoa.
Cameron Young at the PGA Championship was one of the first clicks on that one.
Hell yeah.
Really?
Hell yeah.
Wait, Sobel, can you give us that list next year or next week so we can see that? Like, I'm actually curious who you picked. Are you going to write that up in a column somewhere?
So here's I will give you the quick rundown on this one. Okay. There are a bunch of golf writers in it and some other people you would know. I do it with a buddy who works for ESPN. He produces betting content for them. You pick 2 golfers for every event. Now, he and I have done an internal little battle over the last 5-6 years where we go back and forth doing like a fantasy draft style, and we'll fill out the whole sheet. We each pick 1 golfer from every event, but we have to split them up, and then we'll count it up, and whoever loses between us pays for the one and done the next year. So it's a fun little like internal back and forth. But I have all our picks sitting right here, and I can tell you if you've got name a tournament, I can tell you who we picked.
Give me the majors. Give me all 4 majors.
Okay. And again, like I didn't have access to some of them. Like if he picked Rory somewhere, I didn't have Rory to put in anywhere. Masters was Rahm for me, Bryson for him. PGA was Cam Young for me, Ludwig for him. US Open, I've got Scheffler, he's got Brooks. And the Open Championship, I've got Tommy, he's got Rory.
Wow. Speaking of Brooks, Sia, he's back, and you're going to bet him at Augusta to take down. It's an even year, right? So it's Scotty Scheffler's turn to win, right? Something like that.
I guess, but Brooks Koepka's breaking news here, and I'm trying to have some good TV, and I think 50-1 is actually too long. I mean, I would have expected, and honestly, I haven't really broken down the Masters numbers, but I would have expected this to be like 30-1 or 35-1 or something. So Brooks Koepka has shown that he hasn't won the Masters, but he's certainly shown that he can contend. He appears to be healthy. I would imagine he'll have kind of like a renewed spirit playing these majors this year, knowing that he's coming back on, or is basically back on the PGA Tour. I think 50-1 is a good number.
Sobel, you and I, once again, we're thinking alike.
I like it.
So your major futures, Vic, Cam Young, who Patrick talked about, and Marco Penge at 20-1 to win a major.
Look, you can't get great numbers on too many superstar players. I'm all in on Penge. I hated the news that came out today. Patrick mentioned that he signed with PXG. I would have, if I were him, taken the money, take all your clubs, get a Sharpie, write PXG on the top of them, and keep hitting the exact same clubs that led you to 3 wins on the DP World Tour last year. I don't like him switching right now. He's sick this week. It's not a great start to the year in his PGA Tour career. All of that said, I love everything about this dude's game. Hits at a mile. I think the American courses, the big ballparks, actually suit him better than the DP World Tour courses did. You don't say that about a lot of the players coming over from the European Tour. Most of them come over here and they struggle a little bit. He's going to be just fine over here, but might take a little bit longer than we thought. Still, I can see him going out and going after a PGA Championship, a US Open maybe.
My future focus, Xander Schauffele to finish top 10 in all 4 majors at 14-1. In 6 of his last 8 majors, he's done this. He actually accomplished this feat in 2024 when he won 2 majors. 14-1 is a good number, especially, and I don't know that you can do this if you can parlay it with something else, because you guys know that I love to do parlays. The Australian Open is happening. We have to get on that, next week. So I have not even looked yet. Okay. It's probably Sinner Alcaraz, but we do individual matches and we play overlines, and that's what we're going to do. Women's tennis. I got some for you next week, Patrick. We're going to do women's tennis with our American Express picks. I'm telling you, I'm game. That's how we make money. So Xander Schauffele, 6 of his last 8, top 10 in majors. Guys, what a show. Welcome back. I mean, it has been so much fun. You guys in the chat have been awesome. Thank you for all the questions, the comments. Great to see all of you. We're doing this every Tuesday night at 7 p.m. Eastern. We hope that you'll join us. I think we're doing this all the way through August. So let's keep it going. Guys, great to be back on with you. And producer Josh behind the scenes is also like a Patrick McDonald, like a golf encyclopedia, dropping facts left and right. Go ahead, Sia.
Well, I was wondering if Josh could come on and either do one of 2 things, and maybe he can't, but maybe give us a pick for this tournament, the Sony Open, or maybe a future focus pick, because you're right. He mirrors Sobel and Patrick's knowledge. Maybe he's got something for
Drop it on.
All right, Josh, what do you got?
The Josh bomb. Man. Drop it on us.
Just dropping me right in the middle of the ocean right now. I don't know. I like Spawn. I think it's all real from last year. I think he's just the guy that needed the confidence, who had the skill, and he'll be a mainstay. He'll be a mainstay on tour. I don't really have anything for the majors yet. I think Jordan Spieth contends in one this year. I guess that would be the fun thing I'd bring to it. I'm not sure I'm putting any money on it anywhere, but I think Spieth has a good year, and at some point in one of those 4 golf tournaments, he'll be halfway through with a reasonable chance to win the thing. So I'll go with those 2 things.
That's pretty bold. That's pretty bold. Do you have a pick for this week? You got somebody for this? You got somebody this week?
He just said JJ Spawn.
I'll go Spawn.
Oh, Spawn.
Go
Okay.
Spawn.
All right. My bad.
I'll go with Spawn.
By the way, Patrick, you put in the chat, who's Angel Iora?
Oh my gosh! Just watch the Dubai.
mean,
watch
really?
the Dubai tournament
Really?
this week. Okay.
The guy just finishes 7, 8, or 9 at every event. He doesn't win.
He's going to be on the PGA Tour in 2027. Okay.
Is that your pick for
the
Dubai?
golf
Because
swing's
Farzad
unreal.
wants a Dubai pick.
Yeah, he likes Fleetwood. I like a Angel, but it's tough to go against Fleetwood or Rory. I feel like
Rory's going to win. I got Rory.
New irons in the bag for Rory. So
Thorbjorn for Sobel. Who you got, Sia?
I honestly haven't looked, but I'll go with Fleetwood, and then I'll pick one of the. I'll you know what? I'm actually going to bet it. I'm going to bet Fleetwood and Patrick's guy and Jason's guy.
All right, I'm gonna give Josh the last word here. If you were to do an OAD pick, not named JJ Spawn this week, a little bit off the beaten path, who would you choose?
Off the beaten path.
Yeah.
Brian Harmon.
Ooh.
Okay, I like
It'll be windy this week. It's certainly in the afternoon, and anything under 7,100 yards, Brian's got a real shot to win. So I'll go with Harmon.
And I know somebody in the chat asked about OAD earlier in the show. Check out Rick's contest on Splash. They have a lot. I have a couple entries in there.
I'm in it.
Patrick's in it. See, are you in yet?
Oh man, now I feel like I have to be in.
Come on.
I just don't want more responsibility.
I'll do it tonight.
There
we
we go.
go.
Scholarship.
Right.
Can I get scholarship for
Come on.
my entry fee?
It's not cheap, tell you that. Guys, awesome show. Josh, thank you as always.
It's robbing
Sia Nejad, Patrick McDonald, Jason Sobel. I'm Eric Cohen. I haven't been able to say this in 5 months? As I always like to say, let's hit it big. Good luck.